Hi, I decided to save a video to explain the project which I made. It is easier because I'm not sure will you be able to set up, because I set up this Vagrant virtual machine and it works on the virtual machine. I completed the project. Here is the project. It has menus which work. For example, if I select add question will be highlighted, list questions will be highlighted, stats, and etc. etc. This is admin control panel, admin area. This is landing page. It is just notifying us that we can use this menu. So now I have two options under questions, add question and list questions. Add question or list question, it's no, I can use both. Okay, I'll show first add question. Here I can enter question. If I try to save immediately, of course I will get notification that this field is required. So for example, I'm not sure what I can write here. Are you sure? So this is if it is required or not. And now here is the answer type. We have date, number, text. If we choose one of these, we can save immediately. However, if we choose drop down or radio, for example drop down, then we will be able to add metadata. For example, maybe of course not sure, for example, like this. Also we can delete, for example, one of these, and now I can save this. When I save it, I come to save page where I can return to question list or open the same question again. So I can return to question. This is list of questions. These questions are locked because somebody already answered to these questions, so I cannot. But this last one, since I just added it, it is not locked. If I click on this, nothing happens. But this one I can edit. For example, are you really sure? And I add one more. For example, yes. So I can see now here, are you really sure? Also, if I go to edit, this one is edit too, so it works. Also, I would like to mention that for this, you can see that for this here, I made a jQuery plugin. I can show it here. It can be used on multiple occasions, not just for this project here. This plugin takes care of adding, removing values. For example, I forgot to show that if I try to add empty value, it will tell me that I cannot. Also, if I try to add same value, it will warn me that same values cannot be added, of course. So that's it. That is adding and listing the questions. Now here we have users panel. When we are not logged in, this is users control panel. It has few options. For example, if I try to open one of these, I cannot. It will redirect me to login page because I did not log in. Here also says please log in to start. So I will log in with my username and password. Now when I'm logged in, it says this is ID which I use for testing, nothing important. Now I can open questionnaire and log out. For example, this is questionnaire. Since I already filled in, it remembered all of these questions. And this is the last question which I added, which I can choose here and save. Once I do this, for example, I can do this, save. I come to questionnaire overview, which shows me all questions which I answered. Also, if we now go back to admin panel and enter questions, we see that now this question is also locked because one user answered to this question. Let me go back to users panel. So here I can also directly go to overview, and also here if the field is required, for example this one. And I forgot to mention that all these works, this is date, and these are depending on question type. It will automatically be radio, drop down, number, etc, etc. So if I try to save now, it will tell me that this field is mandatory because it is required. For fields which are not required, it will be optional, and it will work because this will not be required, as you can see also in code. Here it is, for example, this is validate plugin, and this is automatically generated, and for example, as you can see, these are not required. I could add maybe some other stuff for validation, but this is quite enough. It works and it's okay. So now also I wanted to show you that there are many users. I entered in database some example users. For all of these users, password is the same, ABC, and there are many different users which have different answers to questionnaire. So there is statistics. I made also statistics. Here are questionnaire results. Here you can select anyone and see his results. Also with keyboard I can, because this is loaded dynamically through Ajax, and as you can see there are many different answers. It works. Also this is report because I have a question here. I made two sample reports. One of these questions, what color you like the most, and here report is showing how much people choose, how many people choose each color. Also for nationality, I decided to make one little bit more complicated report, just to show. It is we have two questions. One is do you smoke, and another is nationality. So this report compares nationality in terms of smoking, how many people by nationality smoke. So it is like this. For example, Spanish smoke the most, and Bosnians the least. Irish are 50-50, and this is, I would say, interesting report. I had to use charts that this one charts, yes, because it is much better than built-in, or the one which is built-in inside this Metronic team, because I saw that in last version they also throw away their old these charts because their code was very bad. I looked at the code and decided to use this one. So everything works as expected, as is requested in your page email which you sent to me. Also, user can log out, and we can log in with different user, and everything will work. Here is the code I have used. Also, I would like to mention that these I didn't have time. These would best be to create folders for each of these. Currently, I just separated with underscore, but if I had more time, I would create folders: question edit folder, and stats folder, user folder, etc., etc. These are controllers and the model. And I used Blade templates. Here are some templates. For example, I have common layout which I extend, and these sections, and I find it this Laravel is nice when you get used to it. It has some, maybe, I'm not sure, but actually generally I liked it. Nothing too complicated. Also, I would like to add that currently question which is added, for example, it can be deleted, of course, also here, and it will delete also all data from tables which are related to it. I simplified database model greatly, maximally actually. Now it contains only 5 tables, but it supports all features which were required. That's it. I mean, I don't want to waste too much time. I really worked a lot, at least 10 to 12 hours a day these past days, because I had to set up everything. I didn't know anything about Laravel. I had to set up this. Also, I didn't know anything about Git. Even one time I wanted to restore one file, and I restored actually complete revision, so it deleted my files. So I had a lot of problems, but now I'm used to it. So I had to learn Laravel and set up everything. This homestead saved me because it is a virtual machine which is already set up. So I had a lot of problem actually setting up. At last I managed to set up. Also, I made, because I use Windows, I made some bets to back up the database, and I tried to mix a lot of different features of Laravel just to learn as much as I can. For example, let me show here questions. I used these simple queries directly, as well as model, eloquent model, through model, different types, for example, relations. Also, I made my own functions to, for example, this one, which names controls to make views a little bit less complicated, because they sometimes are complicated, as in here. For example, this one, it would be much more complicated if I didn't extend a bit this model. Also, I have a few of models like menu builders, menu items. I would like to mention that I use public. I know that if I was using Java, I would encapsulate all of these, but since I am using PHP, I encapsulated only field which I have to encapsulate. But maybe this, if this wasn't test project, and depending on what is your coding style. I read about that some people like it in PHP. I mean, for example, in Java it is always the case, but in PHP some guys even say that it is better to keep public and encapsulate only necessary stuff. I just wanted to tell you that it is depending on what is the coding style. This is menu. I made it so it can easily be expanded. Here you can just add a line, and the menu will immediately work with highlighting and everything. Oh, that's it actually. This code is a little bit more complicated because I also needed to generate scripts. No, this is static. Generate scripts on the fly. Here it is. I used blade templating, and all stuff here is generated on the fly. And also, this is a nationality script. It is also nice code which works. It has two data sets which I define in controller here. Because queries are too complicated for query builder, eloquent query builder, I had to use this simple select. And also I made, since all of my controllers, actually since my view, common view, which is layout, calls show menu on controller, I made the interface iMenu, which has this function, and all of my controllers are inheriting this this controller. I don't know how to read this in English, which actually, and they implement iMenu, for example, user landing, as you can see. So I am sure that I will not get exception here in layout later on. Also, I have this part of the code. It is saving questions. Added here. I'm encapsulating saving in transaction and deleting in case something bad happens here, that transactions are rolled back. I added also check here if question is locked. If someone directly not through UI but directly through link tries to dig the question, he will not be able to do so. I mean, if the question has answers. And the same is for editing. And there is quite a lot of code. I don't want to make video too big. I want to upload it to YouTube now, and anything you need to know, you can ask me. I can explain everything. I actually coded everything from scratch. That's it. This is I just took this one from one of my previous projects. This is a validate plugin for jQuery fix for Bootstrap, because it doesn't work without this error message. Does not have correct class. So I made it. Also, I put a lot of effort in cleaning up views and making them work as expected, and layouts. That's it. Thank you for your attention. I'm going to close this down right now. Thank you. Bye.